Hello, everyone. Welcome to this latest video here at the Expat Odyssey. Today, I wanted to go over something that I thought would be pretty helpful, just to help people understand if being an expat, it might be a good fit for them. So the title of this video is "Signs You're Meant to Be an Expat, Even If You Don't Realize It." Let's get into it. All right. So you first off, adaptability and resilience are key. This means that you're comfortable adjusting to new situations and overcoming challenges. The other one is ability to bounce back from setbacks and embrace uncertainty. That's the other thing. You got to be able to embrace the uncertainty. You got to be able to bounce back from setbacks and, take everything in stride. Just got to take it all in stride. All right. The next one here is open mindedness and curiosity. So this means, eagerness to learn about different cultures, customs, and perspectives. Willingness to try new foods, traditions, and experiences without hesitation. And that is true, without hesitation. Whenever you're in these countries, wherever it is that you're going to go, when you're not showing that kind of hesitation, when you're diving on in, it's not only good for you, but you're also showing to the people that are around you in their country that in their culture you're ready to experience things, and that you are embracing uh, what is in front of you, that you're embracing the experience. So being eagerness or not eagerness, but just yeah, eagerness, just being eager to learn about cultures and perspectives. And that's another thing that I'd like to get into, is that when we're talking about cultures and perspectives, a lot of times what shapes our perspectives and our ideas largely is dependent on language. Whenever you have a certain language that you speak, like if you speak English or if you speak Arabic or Malay or something, the more you learn the language, the more in tune that you'll be with the culture. So some things are just not necessarily can be translated. Some things are just are brought about when you have that cultural interactions, and you're actually, even if you can't understand it, but that you're doing what you can to understand it by just having people around you that are from that culture, that are from that region, to help you understand the context and the depth that goes along with that. All right, independence and self reliance. Let's get into that. Confident in making decisions and solving problems without needing constant support. This is a big one. Listen to that again. Confident in making decisions and solving problems without needing constant support. So, given that on my channel I do talk about being an expat with a visual impairment, uh, and like I said previously in another video, when you're out here, you are on your own. You are, being reliant upon yourself comes first and foremost. Uh, there have been some cases where, for example, when I was in the Philippines, just out of curiosity, I wanted to reach out to one of the local organizations that serves the blind and visually impaired community. It's called Resources for the Blind. They're based in Manila, Cebu City, and Davao City. I actually went to their office in Cebu City, and very friendly people. Resources for the Blind, very very friendly people. But there's just not a whole lot that that they can do in terms of orientation and mobility, for example. So the only thing that they did, and the assistant that I had with me at the time, they taught her about what sighted guide is like, and that's something that I don't necessarily need, but it was just interesting to touch base and see how they do things in the Philippines. Just because when you're coming from the West, or you're coming from America, or when you're coming from anywhere, when you're going to a new place, the situation on the ground is going to be different, and the, co- to shed some light on my experience here in Malaysia, I have actually reached out to a couple organizations and haven't heard a word. So it's one of those things where if you're going to be coming to a country, doesn't matter what country it is, be prepared to be resilient, be prepared to be self-reliant, be prepared to be independent, because there's no guarantee, and there's certainly no promise that anybody is going to be there to help you. So this goes right back to, if you need that kind of support, that you build relationships prior to even getting into the country, that you build connections in expat groups, that you are just being outgoing and doing what you can to make connections, because there's going to come a time when those connections are really going to are really going to be necessary. So you making sure to connect with people as best as you can, with good people, quality people. Another thing about that is that you're going to have people, and where if you're in one of these countries, a lot of times people are just going to interact with you just because they think perhaps down the line they can get some money out of you. I've actually had that happen to me recently, where someone actually I met them in one of these countries. I'm not going to say where, but they got my Facebook. I added them as a friend and whatnot, and don't hear from them. But then they drop you a message asking for money, and then they can't verify why they need it. So it's one of those things where if you're going to be looking to make connections, be smart about it. Don't be stupid. Just don't be stupid. Okay, ability to navigate unfamiliar environments alone. That's huge. This is one thing where for anybody, it can be challenging to navigate an unfamiliar environment. This is a big reason why you see me walking around with my white cane in my videos and even outside of my videos, is because you don't know if there could be, again, my depth perception is not that great. So I use that because you don't know how far down a curb is going to be. You just don't know what's going to be going on around you. So navigating unfamiliar environments, this is one of those things where when you're in a new city, I would advise, excuse me, I would advise you that before you're hopping from one city to the next, onwards to the next, that you take time, that you settle into the city that you're in, and that you get a feel for the city. You basically every day, you don't overextend yourself going into different areas where you don't know what's going on. Basically, every day you want to make every day a simple step. Basically like baby steps whenever you're traveling around some of these cities. And that basically means, okay, let's find where the mall is today. Okay, let's find where the supermarket is today. Okay, where's the train station? Um, just these little things. And they seem little, but you know, after time, they're going to build up and you're going to have a better idea on how to navigate what were previously unfamiliar environments. Okay, strong communication skills. This is imperative. Comfortable interacting with people from diverse backgrounds. So, definitely, if you're interested in moving abroad, definitely study one of the languages that for one of the places that you're going to be moving to. I definitely, for learning languages, I think the immersive technique is the immersive method is best. If you're interested in that, I would check out a website called Link, LINGQ, and that's basically a website where you can just consume content, be it on YouTube, Netflix, websites, and you can import everything into this one uh, tool, and you basically learn the language the same way that you learned your mother tongue. Okay, willingness to learn new language or adapt to different communication styles. So that speaks for itself. Okay, we're going into financial savviness and resourcefulness, ability to budget, save, and manage finances effectively. As far as this is concerned, you know what you need to do. What I would say is that if you're going to be going around, um, if you're going to be going on dates, if you're going to have somebody around you and with you that's going to be with you for an extended period of time, just make sure that you're mindful of your budget, because some people, they'll take somebody on and they think that because they're in a foreign country that their money is just going to go further, and it does go further. It does go further, but you'll burn through it in a sense that you'll be spending this money and probably you'll be going out too much, and the next thing you know, you don't have as much as you thought you did, and then you have to recalibrate yourself and your situation. Willingness to find creative solutions to financial and logistical challenges abroad. That's pretty much, you can figure that out. That's every person has their own thing. Okay, patience and tolerance. And this is a big issue that I see with some expats. Uh, certainly from the West, given the fact I'm from the West, patience goes out the window. And tolerance, yeah, can't really mention that. I can't really get onto that one so much, but let's see here. Can handle bureaucratic red tape and slow processes without frustration. Yeah, well, you're gonna be dealing with bureaucratic red tape, so get used to it. And, the processes, yeah, things can be very slow, especially if you're in the Philippines. If you're in the Philippines, expect things to be slow, expect things to be inefficient, and expect not to complain about it because if you do complain about it, people aren't gonna understand what's wrong with you. Okay, respect for different customs, even if they seem unusual or inconvenient. That's just one of those things you're gonna have to look into it for yourself to see what those customs are. Sense of adventure and risk taking. Enjoy stepping out of the comfort zone and embracing new experiences. If you're the kind of person that likes to think outside of the box anyways, this is then you're just going to be like a fish to water with this. It's yeah, enjoy stepping out of the comfort zone and embracing new experiences. Yeah, that's what you got to do. Just to embrace these new experiences and it'll make it all that much more rewarding. Truly, it'll make it that much more rewarding. Willing to take calculated risks for personal growth and exploration. Yeah, well, what does that mean? That means, you know, taking a chance on yourself and trying out this expat life, trying out to see how it fits you. And what does that mean? Largely, it can mean perhaps maybe take a vacation where you're thinking about going, maybe have a short period of time. But I mean, short period of time, I mean like perhaps maybe a month somewhere just so you can try to get a feel for a place, see how you're just see how it feels, just dip your toes in the water. That's really what you should do. Dip your toes in the water, see what's the temperature, what's the just get a feel for things, man. That's you got to get a feel for it. Okay, strong sense of identity and purpose. Comfortable with who you are and can maintain your values while adapting to a new culture. That's big. What does that mean? That means that, yeah, you have your identity. Yes, you know who you are, but just because you're in a new environment doesn't mean that you compromise your identity. It doesn't mean that you just throw everything to the wayside to blend in for the sake of blending in. Yeah, you have to have a strong sense of your own identity, who you are, and what your values are. Ability to find meaning and purpose in unfamiliar environments. Again, this can help whenever you're in a country where the people are friendly, the people are welcoming, and that'll make a big difference. So make sure that if you're looking into being an expat, that you keep that in mind. So, is expat life for you? If you recognize these traits in yourself, you may thrive as an expat. Consider exploring opportunities abroad and embracing a global lifestyle. And it is exciting. It's definitely exciting. It's something that's thrilling. It's highly stimulating. If you get tired, one thing that I when I was back in America, I love my country. Don't get it wrong or twisted. I love my country, but when things just become too familiar, let me see. What's the saying? Familiarity breeds contempt. Familiarity breeds contempt. So that means you're gonna need to make some changes, see what works out for you, maybe what doesn't work out for you. Maybe this isn't for you. For a lot of people, it might not be because a lot of times, whenever you're living abroad, I'll give you an example. Like when you go to an American grocery store and you are an American, and the choices that we have are just fantastic. They are amazing, completely amazing. I mean, the choices of food that we have, the different products, the beverages, anything you can think of. Uh, when you leave the West and you come down to Southeast Asia, kiss it all goodbye. Kiss what's familiar to you goodbye because it's a totally different world down here. Totally different world. So if you think that yeah, you know what, I'd like the cost of living. Yeah, I'd like to be in a place where the people speak English. Uh, that's good. But again, if you're lacking adaptability, if you can't, embrace change easily, if you are culturally stubborn, you know, like if you go to the Philippines, for example, and I love the Philippines, I love Filipinos. It's a beautiful country. It's a beautiful place, and it's a place that I really do love being in. But if you try a lot of Filipino food, no disrespect to my Filipino viewers, if you're from the West and you try a lot of Filipino food, you're gonna be asking yourself, "What did I get myself into?" Like with dried fish or balut, which is like a fertilized duck egg that they crack open and eat, and just different stuff like my God, just all sorts of stuff you've never even seen before. And especially if you go into a wet market, you go into a wet market, that's definitely going to be expanding your mind. Just make sure it doesn't break it, you know. But aside from that, I think that is pretty much it. So if you like this video, you know what to do. Just thanks for your time, everybody. Really appreciate you. Until next time.